Okay, last week we stopped here to finish your second book, T account, right? So on your note, page 9 is about the T account second book. So anyone remember what's the purpose we need a second book, T account ledger? Anyone? Why we need a second book? First book is journal, right? So for the first book, journal, on your page 8, we use it to record every transactions based on the date. So that's your first book, journal. Then why we need a second book, T account ledger? Okay, you are Janet. Janet, you changed your seat. Okay, Janet, what's the reason, purpose we need the second book, T account ledger? Okay, to answer manager's questions, right? Because we summarize all the data based on accounts. So based on cash, based on supplies, based on prepaid insurance, dividends, share capital, unearned service revenue, so on. So based on each account, then we summarize all the data, trying to get the final amount. After you got the final amount, we could use it to answer any questions, like what? How much cash you have on last day? Then you could answer it. Just look at your second book. On October 31st, on the last day, total amount of cash I have is $15,200. Okay? So that's why we need a second book. Okay? So after that, did you find out we had the final number on which side? For cash, you have the final number on debit or credit? For cash, debit. So you had the final number on debit side. We call it debit balance. So what does it mean? It means your balance on debit side, okay? So it's on debit. We call it debit balance. So how about accounts payable? For accounts payable, you have the final number on which side? Credit side. So we call it credit balance. So credit balance means the balance, the final number on credit side. So we call it credit balance. Okay? So debit balance, credit balance, just tell you on which side, debit or credit, you will find out the final amount, right? So for surprise, the balance on debit side, so we call it debit balance. For share capital, the balance on credit side, right? So we call it credit balance. Okay? Any questions? If you don't have any questions, so you can go to your slide on page 11 or textbook 2-3. So debit balance, credit balance, what does it mean? Balance, final number on debit side, we call it debit balance, 借方余额, means what? Your balance on debit side, your last amount on debit side. Your final amount on debit. On debit side means on your left. Okay? When you find out your balance final amount on credit side, we call it credit balance. 贷方余额 means what? Your amounts, your balance on credit side. final amount on credit side. So means on your right side. Okay? So that's debit balance, credit balance. Just tell you your final amount on which side. Your final amount on which side, debit side or credit side. Okay? Any questions? So this is another term I want to tell you. Debit balance, credit balance. Debit balance means the balance on debit side. Credit balance means the balance on credit side. That's it. So tell you the number on left or on right. After you got it, next thing I want to tell is you got the final amount. Are you sure you did the right thing? Always for the money, $1, $2, $3, always we need to double check whether you did the right thing. Okay? So after you got the number, is correct or not? So how to double check it? For example, use another case to tell you. If today about the cash, so I have the cash. First day maybe 100. Next day maybe 80. So you got a final number on here. So on last day. Okay? This is case 1. How about case 2? We use the same account, cash. So first day if I have the cash 100. Next day I have the cash 180. So you got the final number 80. Okay? Based on these two cases, case 1, you have a balance. You have a debit balance or credit balance? Anyone? Case 1, you have a debit balance or credit balance? You are? Sorry. Oh, Brian. Okay, Brian. You have debit balance because your final amount on debit side, right? So for this case, case 2, you have a debit balance or credit balance? Credit balance because your final amount on credit side, okay? So after you note your balance here, this is debit balance. This is case 2 is your credit balance. After that, we want to double check it whether the number final amount is correct or not, is reasonable or not. So based on these two cases, one case, which one? The number, final number, the balance you got makes sense. Another one, the final number you got not make sense. You have to think, what does it mean? If you have a 20 on debit balance, what does that mean? If you have a 80 on credit balance for cash, what does it mean? Anyone? $20 cash on debit balance, what does it mean? Fiona? You pay 80, so final number 20, the cash left, you still have the cash 20, okay? So you have the cash, you know, cash is your asset. Asset increase on debit side, right? Asset decrease on credit side. So what does it mean? It means after beginning, you have $100 cash. Okay? Then Next day, you paid, maybe you paid 80 cash. After that, in the end, so finally, you still have, on last day, you still have cash, $20. Okay? How about case 2? What does it mean? At the beginning, you have a cash 100, right? Next day, you pay how much? 180. So, case 2, first day, you have cash 100. Next day, you pay 180 cash. Look at these two sentences. Is it possible? You have a cash only 100. How could you pay 180? Where you could get the cash to pay more? Impossible, right? So based on this, you will find out it's not make sense for your case 2. Why not make sense? You have only 100 cash. How you could pay more than 100? So how you could pay more than 100? Impossible, right? So for case 2, you will find out not make sense because impossible to do that, right? So based on this, case 1 and case 2, which one makes sense? Which one not make sense? Case 1 makes sense, right? Case 2 not make sense, okay? So that's how we double check it. So for case 1 makes sense. Case 2, impossible. Okay? So based on this, we will note for cash, the final number appear on debit side or credit side. Which one is makes sense? Which one makes sense? Which one is normal? Case 1, right? Case 1 makes sense, means that's normal. So means it's normal. Case 2, impossible, so is abnormal. Okay? So every time when you find out the final number on debit balance for your cash is normal, it makes sense. Every time when you find out the final number appear on credit balance for your cash is abnormal, not make sense because impossible. Okay, so that's how we double check. After you got the final number, that's how we double check whether you did the right thing on your math. Maybe you know when you use your calculator, sometimes you made a mistake. So this is the way maybe we could double check it. Whether you use the calculator correctly or not, you did the math right or wrong. Okay? I'll give you another case. For example, this is about cash, right? How about liability? If today is accounts payable, so we have accounts payable, the liability. Accounts payable, remember liability increase on credit, right? decrease on debit. Okay? So today may be the first day. You have the liability $80. Next day, your liability decrease $50. So in the end, last day, you still have liability $30. Okay? So that's for case 1. How about case 2? You have accounts payable. First day, still $80. Next day, maybe $100. In the end, you have liability $20 on debit balance. Okay? So based on this, anyone could tell me case 1, debit balance or credit balance? Case 2, debit balance or credit balance? It's quite simple. Case 1, debit balance or credit balance? Actually, case 1, credit balance, debit balance. Case 1, debit balance or credit balance? Credit balance, because your final number appear on credit side, on your right side. Okay? So case 1 is credit balance. Actually, case 2 is debit balance, right? Okay. It means your balance, your final number appear on debit or credit side. Okay, actually, based on this, how to explain the meanings? What does it mean? For case 1, what does it mean? Anyone? First day, you have liability $80, right? Anyone want to continue? Okay, you are Daniel. Okay, Daniel. First day, you have the liability $80. Next day, pay $50. So you pay the debt, you pay liability, pay the money back. So your liability decrease $50. So in the end, $30, what does it mean? You still owe the money $30. Okay? So from case 1, it means first day you owed liability. You owe the money, so you owe cash. $80. So it means you have the liability. So you have liability. Okay. Next day, you pay the cash, right? So you pay the money back. You pay cash $50 back. Okay. So which means your liability decrease. Okay. Based on this, in the end, on the last day, you still owed $30. Okay? Means you still have liability. Okay? Makes sense, right? I have a liability $80. I just pay $50 back, so I still owe the money $30. How about case 2? Anyone? Case 2. At the beginning, you have the liability $80. Okay? Daniel, next day, what does it mean? You pay $100. Is it possible? No, you just owe the money $80. Why you pay $100? You are rich, so you want to give them more. So based on case 2, you will find out impossible, right? So first day, you owed cash 80. Next day, you paid cash $100. What do you think? Impossible, right? Because you just owe them money 80, so you will pay the money back only $80, right? So impossible to do that. So how could you pay? So you won't pay more than 80, right? I owe you money $80. I will just pay you money back $80. Impossible I pay you money back more than 100. Maybe you will say interest, right? But here we don't talk about interest. We just talk about the money you borrow. You will pay the money you borrow 80 plus interest. So here we didn't talk about the interest. We just talk about the money you borrow. So you will pay the $80 back. Okay? So based on this, you will find out impossible. So which case makes sense? Case 1, right? So case 1 makes sense. So we will say there's normal. How about case 2? You know that's impossible. So we will say there's abnormal. So after you got the final amount, after you got the balance, you should double check it to figure out the final number on debit side or on credit side. Which one makes sense? Which one impossible? Okay? So based on two situations, cash right here, accounts receivable right here. Could you find out the rule? Usually, the balance should appear on which side? Then that makes sense. Look at it again. Case 1, which side makes sense? Normal situation. Right here, right? Debit balance. How about accounts payable? Which side makes sense? Credit balance. So is debit credit? No. So what's the rule? Did you find out? Usually, the normal case, normal situation, the balance should appear on increase side. Did you find out? Debit balance for cash, increase side. So the normal balance, the normal situation, usually the number will appear on increase side. So this is increase side. Okay? So normal usually should appear on increase side. So that's for cash. How about accounts payable? The same. Did you find out? Accounts payable, normal situation on credit balance. Credit balance for accounts payable, it means increase. Okay? So should be increase. Okay? So a normal situation usually that's for increase side. Sorry? used for all the accounts. Yeah, not only cash accounts payable. Every account. The rule is how to double check it. For every account, the balance should appear on increase side, because increase side you could explain it. That makes sense. Okay, when they appear on decrease side, you cannot explain it. It's impossible. Like these two cases. Okay? You could look at your slide. Slide is on '20. Your slides on 20. So you will find out for cash appear on debit balance. You could explain it. What does it mean? $5, you still have a cash $5. So makes sense, right? So that's a normal situation. When $2 cash on credit balance, what does it mean? It means you have a $10, but you pay $12. Impossible, right? So that's abnormal. So did you find out? Usually, normal balance appear on increase side. So here, for cash, increase side. So normal balance usually on increase side. So that's for cash on your slide 20. Okay? How about accounts payable? The same, right? Accounts payable on credit side, it means increase, right? So that makes sense. Means what? Beginning, you have liability $12. Right now, you pay the liability back 10. So you still have a liability $2. So you could explain it. Makes sense. So we said, usually it's normal situation for increase side. Okay? When this number on debit balance, not make sense, because what does it mean? You have a liability $5. Will you pay $10 back? No, impossible. So that not make sense. So we say that's abnormal situation. Okay? For share capital, the same. Share capital normal situation should be on increase side. For share capital increase on credit. So credit balance, you find out the number on credit balance. That makes sense. How to explain it? Remember? At the beginning, investor invested in your company. Okay? So investor invested in your company. That's why share capital increase, right? Because they put their money in your company. So their right in your company increase $12. Could they take back their investment? Of course, like stock shares. Could you buy Apple's stock shares? Yes. Could you sell Apple's stock shares? Yes. So when you sell Apple's stock shares, means what? You take back your investment. Okay? So here, decrease share capital, what does that mean? It means investor sold shares, stocks, to take back their investment. 股东出售股票，拿回自己的投资。Okay, so it makes sense, right? Right. So for another situation, impossible. What does it mean? You just invested $5. Could you take back $10? Impossible. You invested $5. Totally money you could take back only $5. Impossible. You take back $10, right? So based on this case, abnormal situation is impossible. Why? Because you just invested $5. How could you take back investment $10? Okay. So which one is normal situation? This one, right? So the balance should appear on increase side. Increase side. Okay. So don't forget, after you got the final amount, you should double check whether you did it correctly or not. Any questions? No? Okay. How about service revenue? The same situation, right? What does it mean? You provide the service, you earn the revenue, $12. If someday you cancel the service, you cancel $10 service, means what? You still earn the service $2, right? How could you provide the service $10, cancel the service $10? Impossible. Okay? So let's write. The final number should appear on increase side. Here means what? Service revenue increase on credit. So it means what? You provided service to earn revenue $12. Okay? Revenue decrease means what? You cancel the service. So even though you cancel the service, $10. Okay? So service revenue decrease means what? You cancel service $10. Okay? So in the end, you still earn the revenue $2, right? Beginning provide $12 service, you cancel $10, you still earn the service revenue $2. So you still earned $2. Okay? Another case right here, that makes sense, right? Because provide service $5, how could you cancel the service $10? Impossible. The maximum you could cancel is only $5. So then that's impossible. For this $5, what does it mean? How could you? You just earned. You provided service. $5. How could you cancel? Service. $10. Impossible, right? Okay. So did you find out? Normal situation usually should be on increase side. Increase side. So normal situation usually should be on increase side, because on increase side you could explain the meanings. Okay? Others, the same situation. So did you find out rent expenses? Which one is normal on increase side for your expense? Okay? Dividends, what's the normal situation on increase side? Any questions? Okay. So we use it normal or abnormal situation to do what? To have you double check whether each account you got the final amount correctly or not. Okay? So we figure out normal, abnormal, try to double check it. So you can go to the slide on 19, slide on 19, or your textbook 2-4. For your ending balance, 期末余额 means final amount. We want to note whether it's normal or abnormal. So we want to know is normal or abnormal. So it should appear on normal side. So what does it mean? Increase side. So normal side means increase side. When the balance final number appear on increase side, then we will note this normal situation. Makes sense? Okay? Then why we want to know is normal or abnormal? Because they could help you to double check whether you made any mistake. Okay? So understand that's normal or abnormal. They will help you to double check. Okay? So help you to double check. Okay? Any questions? If you don't have any questions, please go to your note on page 9. Please double check it whether your balance is correct or not, whether your balance is normal or abnormal. Okay? So go to your note on page 9. Okay? Page 9 for your second book, T account. Each account, you got the balance, right? After you got the balance, please double check it whether the final number is normal or abnormal. Okay? Double check it. If you done already, then take a break. Okay? For second book, please give me two things. First thing, tell me the balance is debit balance or credit balance. Okay? That's the first thing. Is debit balance or credit balance? Means the final number on debit side or credit side. Second thing, double check whether the balance on debit side or credit side is normal, or maybe you made some mistake. Okay? After you've done these two things, you could take a break. Okay? First thing, figure out is debit balance, credit balance. Second thing, double check it. Like a cash, cash on debit balance is normal or abnormal? Normal, right? Because cash on debit balance increase side, okay, is normal. Like this. Accounts payable, credit balance on increase side, okay, is normal. So I double check each number. Okay, it should be no problem. Then you can take a break.